Hey, welcome to a new video on Northern Soul channel, and today we're going to be talking about taping for general pain. So it's a kinesiology taping for general pain. So I'm just going to demonstrate a quick one that's you can use on, you can give it a try on any sort of pain that you don't know is like a specific area or something like that. If you have any sort of swelling or anything, you might want to do a lymphatic taping first to control the swelling, and then the pain associated with that. And then after you get that kind of under control, or if you have contusion or bruising, and you did the taping for that as well, then afterwards, if it's like a continual sort of pain or an area that's just really bothering you, and you therapists or whatnot can't really pinpoint what the problem is, but you're having to deal with it daily, and you just having a tough time with it, this taping might just give you that relief, or that time, that sort of might give you a reprieve from it, or just kind of take the edge off. Sometimes it's all we need is just to take the edge off. Or if we tend to hurt ourselves like sleeping, this might be one of those things, because you're sleeping, you might twist and turn in the bed and just hurt yourself inadvertently. So we're going to discuss general on the. Well, I'll go through it actually. So I'm going to use blue tape here, and I got a part of old tape here that's a thin one, and I'll explain how that works, where you might use that sort of thing. So general taping is basically a star taping. We're talking about 3 to 4 strips and considerable stretch on all of them. And let me show you how it works. So if I have a pain in the arm or something like that, so you're not doing a specific taping, so it's like I got tennis elbow or something, there's a specific taping for that. But say you just got hurt and you're not diagnosed, and you're like, I just have pain here or something like that, and you're like, I just need a general tape that just works, generally speaking. This is it. So I'm just going to do an example. I'm not actually hurt, so this isn't a specific. So I'll take tape. I'm just going to cut. In this case, I'll cut 4 strips so you can see what that looks like. And then I'll show you 3 strips with the shorter one as an example. Okay, so there's 4 strips right there. And of course, like usual, you round off the ends so it doesn't catch on clothes, and then prematurely start ripping the tape off. And if you don't clean your scissors, like I don't, and then what happens is everything starts sticking to it. But you should clean your scissors. You can do whatever you want. You can buy a new set if you get some cheapo scissors. There we go. You don't have to get like fancy pants tape cutting scissors. I think these are like $3. Well, I got them in a set of 3 or something like that. Pretty cheap, and they just work. Boop. Okay, so there's the 4 pieces there that I'm going to use specifically for general pain. Now, let's just say I have a pain like in my forearm right here for some reason. It could be like torn fibers of the muscle or something like that. This could be over a joint as well, but I'll show you that in a moment, where it'll be more specific. So we're going to break them all in half. I usually break it the other way, OCD, but open that up like that. So because I'm doing this myself, I'm going to take one of the backing off like that, so that I can use gravity to drape it onto me. So let's just say the pain's generally here, it could be anywhere, it doesn't matter. This is a general taping. So I'll put one there like that. Just put the base layer on, so I'll rub that in, and that's the anchor point. And then what I'll do is put a stretch on, so it's substantial stretch. If your skin is sensitive to this, where you have this, you put the stretch on and you find that you get a lot of irritation, so itchiness or pain or something like that over time, you want to take the tape off and apply less stretch. So you'll know how tape reacts to you by just experience, by using it. So I'm just going to stretch this out. So in this case, it'll be about 50%. You can go up to 70 if your skin tolerates it, but realistically, you don't have to get crazy. I hear you can get an effect even with 20% stretch, but the more aggressive the stretch is, the more pulling and then lifting ability you get. But it's all dependent on what your skin can tolerate, okay? So you don't want to like inadvertently compromise the skin tissue and leave yourself open for infection or if the skin's broken as well. The other problem is you can't really do therapy on it because if you have to touch the skin, right? Because the skin's, you can't touch it. So I'm going to pretend that's the hurt part. So I'm just going to make an X over top. So once again, anchor, pull across 50% in this case, just like that. Now this is a part that's not a joint. It doesn't move a lot. So I can actually go ahead and do the full cross pattern. So I get every angle of the possibility of the fibers moving through there, so that you get all the fascial layers and everything. So once again, anchor there, 50%, 50 to 70. Made a little wrinkle there, that's fine. And then once again, last one, same idea. So it's really like an asterisk, anchor across, park, and there we go. You can see it's already starting to lift and pull, and everything from every angle is starting to pull and lift up and create that space, which allows the circulation increase and then the efficiency of the healing response. Also the constant touch and the tugging and that sort of pressure and touch consistently on a consistent level starts to affect the nerves and starts to trick the nerves into like canceling out that information, because it understands eventually, like, okay, I get it, there's touch there, and it's touch. It's like you almost, you know, you're wearing clothes, at least some of you might be wearing clothes while watching this. You might be naked, it's sitting in your house, I don't know, but if you're wearing clothes, you don't feel the pressure of it after a while, or you don't even notice you're wearing clothes, you're just walking around. It's because your mind cancels that out. So the idea is that with the chronic touch and stuff, and in that specific area, especially if it's more superficial, it'll cancel out some of that pain. So you're talking pain mitigation, and then that's why it's general pain taping, or kinesiology tape. So I'm just going to rip that off, because no, it's not that bad actually, because I didn't leave it for 10 to 15 minutes in order to get a substantial amount of adhesion. And of course, if you wait like about an hour is about a maximum adhesion, and that's when you get the tape wet and all that. I've got other videos you can check out on my channel. That's like 101 explaining a lot of the taping, like the basic knowledge of it and stuff like that, and cutting and all that fun stuff. So check that out, and I've also got other videos you can check out. So in this case, I'm going to do, just in case it's like a smaller area, so you don't need big, the last thing you need is 2-inch tape over, like, let's say a wrist pain. Now there's specific taping for wrists, so I have some on a Northern Soul channel you can check out. But let's just say you're just not sure about it and you just want something quick. And so this is the quick and dirty aspect of taping, using the general aspect. So I'm going to use the smaller strips. So this is just this cut in half. So you just take however much you think you'll need, cut it, and then split it lengthwise, and then you'll end up with 2 strips like this. So I want to have about 3 strips. Now, I put an asterisk, so you get the 4 tapes, all the different directions, but sometimes that's not appropriate. If, let's just say you're going over a joint, this is typically when it's going to, or there's going to be some movement. So as you're going through the movement, there's pain involved. And when you put the tape on, if you have a cross tape, that's causing resistance. So that resistance as you move through might accentuate the pain in that joint or through that movement. If you notice a pain through the movement and it gets worse with the taping, then there's too much resistance, and then you need to get rid of that cross tape from that movement. So what I'm going to do, this is when you're going to use 3 tapes instead of 4 tapes, because we're going to eliminate the one that goes completely across, and then we're going to angle the ones more in line with the actual movement. So because we're trying to mitigate pain, not increase pain or cause more resistance, we're trying to decrease resistance. So because I'm going to round off the ends actually before I forget. There we go. Oh, I can hear trouble coming. Who's that? Oh, Dexter's here. So you want to go with the grains, so to speak, and that way angling it a little bit really helps offload the resistance, and therefore you can still get the benefits of this specific taping. If you're not sure, try one, and then do the asterisk one, the star one, with the 4 tapes, and if you find it painful, then you'll know. So let's try it again. I'm gonna do it over the wrist, pretend I got like the wrist issue, whatever. So I'm gonna go with the movement. And in this case, I can put the wrist in neutral position, so there's like full extension, full flexion, cracking wrist. So I'm just going to put it in neutral position, and then because I'm going to be adding the stretch, so I don't need to move into a stretch and then apply no stretch. So I'm going to be in a neutral position with whatever, and then I'm going to add the 50 to 70% stretch over top, like as per usual. Now you want to add probably, if it's over a joint that has a lot of movement, so this has quite a bit of movement, so I want to back off the stretch, because if I add 70% stretch, then it becomes 100 a lot quicker once you start going, and that might aggravate the skin. So you want to back off the overall stretch that you put on if it's over something that will increase the stretch as you go in a different direction. And you can see as I do flexion of the wrist, it starts to bind up, which is the lifting, and that's what you want. That's for increased circulation. So you're doing increased circulation as well, but we're focusing on pain. But the good part is the tape does double duty whether you need it or not, which is good because you can use that. Thanks, just walk over my set. So I would back off there in order to get, so even you might want to do 20% stretch or something like that for that, so that when you go like that, it turns into like 50% stretch. Or I'm doing 50 and then that turns into 70-80% stretch or something like that. It's not an exact science, you know what I mean? Go by the feel. That feels okay. Most of the I'm not going to be doing a lot of that, so almost went there. I'm not going to do it. Okay. Continuing. So this one, oh, please don't. Okay, there we go. We'll just pretend you didn't see that. So this one, I'm going to aim it more, again, in the direction of the movement. So instead of doing it across like 45, I might angle it like this. So across, still want wherever that the painful point is, so let's say it's right on the wrist, I still want to have that middle part with the stretch on there. So I'm going to do again about 50% stretch, and then 0 on the ends. Of course, the anchors are never have any stretch. And then last one, there's a jailbreak in the background if you're wondering what's going on back there. Just like that. So across, and then you just add some angle, but nothing crazy. And then nothing on the end, so you can just rub that in, add that friction heat, which will help with the adhesion. So that's what it looks like. So as you can see, minus that, because as you go like that, there's no give laterally on the, so it doesn't, there's no stretch going side to side, and that's why when it is side to side and you try to move, there's no movement causing resistance, and because it's adhered to the skin, it'll just yank on the skin, and that'll cause aggravation, which is the opposite effect that you want. So that's kind of what it looks like. I can feel the resistance there. So you could also use this if you need some, if you're hyper mobile, where you have too much flexibility and you want to kind of add some resistance, or as a mental cue as well. So if you need it for postural, you can do this specific, where it's 1 with the motion, and then 2 slightly canted off, and then leave any sort of cross or more horizontal sort of taping away. Like, don't have that because of the resistance that you'll introduce into the area. So hopefully that was clear. Any questions or anything like that, just throw them in the comments or whatever, or you can say hi or thanks or whatever. I don't know, use your imagination. Like the video if you like it. It really helps promote it to help other people find this video. And think about subscribing as well. I'm going to be doing like 2 or 3 or 1 to 3 videos a week. One of them, I'm going to definitely be trying to have some health oriented something or other. So if you're into that, you know, there'll be new content coming in all the time. And I appreciate all the viewership and everybody that's been subscribing. It's been really motivating and humbling. So thanks very much for watching, and good luck to you. See you next time. Northern Soul.